This week we're going to focus on air masses, their origins, where they're coming from, where they're going, fronts, different kind of fronts that cause the weather, and also weather maps and how to read and predict where the weather's going to be. So for air masses, definition is a huge section of lower atmosphere that has uniform properties throughout. So we live in our troposphere, and we're at the lowest level here on Earth, and the air is moving constantly from north to south or east to west or vice versa, and temperatures, depending on the source region, can be hot, dry, cold, and wet. So again, temperature and humidity can vary between those different source regions. Higher humidity, low humidity. And some of it's also dependent upon the time of year, depending on, will vary the humidities and temperatures as well. And air takes on characteristics of the area it's coming from or forming over. So when air comes from Canada south towards the United States, it's generally colder or cooler than what we have here. And depending on the time of year, it can be extremely cold and have effects on our precipitation here as well. The source regions is location where the air masses form. So they can form over the land, so they'd be generally dry, form over water, they have more moisture. Again, stuff that comes from the tropics will be warmer, stuff from the north be cooler. The source regions for the United States, there are 7 of them that affect us in our weather. Maritime polar MP, it's cold and humid. So it's coming from a moist region. Maritime means ocean. Polar means to the polar North Pole. So it's going to be cooler air. So it'll be cool and moist air. Continental polar is cold and dry. Continental means coming from land, where there's lack of moisture. But polar also means come from the North Pole, so it's going to be cool. Marine tropical, again, marine mean ocean, moist, tropical from the equator, tropics mean warm and moist. And continental tropical, again, continent means land, is dry, tropical implies moisture. Now that's only 4 right there, and that's the only 4 named type of air masses. But you're probably thinking, well, there's 7 up here. Well, the other 3 have the same name, but they come from different locations. And let me show you where they come from. So this map, let me zoom in on it a little bit, shows the 7 air masses. And again, if you're counting them, you see 8. We don't really count Arctic, which is here with the A, because that's the same as the continental polar. It comes from land from the north. So they're really the same thing. But notice also we have 2 marine polars, to the left and to the right. One comes from the Pacific, one comes from the Atlantic, and they both provide cool, moist air. We also have 2 marine tropics, one from Pacific, one from the Atlantic, and they both provide very warm, very moist air. And for our region here, depending on which ones those moisture belts is entrained, we get different kinds of weather. Pacific air usually brings us just like a long rainy day or two, and the moisture from the tropics on the Atlantic side can give us our hurricanes and our thunderstorms. So the different source regions are usually part of the different kind of weather going on in our area. And down the bottom we have marine tropical, also from the Gulf, which is very warm water and be very humid. And that's why the East Coast, generally from the Rockies on east, can have high humidity in the summertime, because the Gulf of Mexico, high temperature of the water, and the high moisture content. And then air coming from Mexico, the continental, it's usually hot, dry air. So those are the locations of our air masses that affect the United States. Right, from Google Classroom, there'll be an assignment to play with a simulation of some air masses and how they affect the United States weather. So go to the Weather Lab simulation, press on that, And here you'll get, picture of the launch site. So hit launch this app. And once it fires up, you have a picture of North America. And what you do is you can select different air masses, and you can see what weather you're going to get. So you can pick, now gyri and loops, these are just, I don't want to get specific about these, but you can just click what you want here, and it shows you what you picked. If you don't want that, you can pick the Gulf Loop, Gulf of Mexico, or North Atlantic gyri, or North Atlantic gyri and trade winds. So you can see which one you select. So there's ocean current. On this side, you have air masses. And here's the ones we talked about in the notes, M tropical, C tropical, and so forth. So you can just pick one where you like. And it shows you what happens. Shows the different air mass. Pick one down here. Maybe I'll pick polar. Okay. And I'll pick one over. I think I'll pick one of these yet. So now, I picked one from each of those three categories. And then you hit the next button. And then it asks you, if you live in the south, again, not that this is very general, not being tested on this, but you see it says prepare for strong thunderstorms, put on shorts and a t-shirt, find my woolly gloves, it's going to be cold and damp. You can just pick one and see what you think is going to happen based upon, tropical moisture, polar moisture, and Pacific gyri. Well, those all sound kind of wet to me, so I'm going to put on, I'm going to go with thunderstorms. And it says I was right, and then it shows you what that looks like. Those air masses merge. So you actually can see the weather where the weather will be affected. And then you hit reset, and then you pick some new ones. So my assignment, I'm going to give you a few of these to put in, and I'd like you to tell me what weather that you will see then. So from the Google Classroom, you'll see which ones I'd like you to put in. Then just give me the weather result.